Hi everyone, this is Sharon Hewitt from Superfast Recruitment. And have you ever experienced that pain and frustration of losing a major client and the impact that it had on your business? Or when was the last time you lost a couple of, really good sized clients? It just happened at the same time. It's really painful, isn't it? Now, as business owners, we need to be in a position where we are on our business all the time, because sometimes that phrase eggs all in one basket comes to mind a little bit too frequently, and it's painful. Now, the topic of today's video is to look at how do we avoid that pain and that frustration and that beating up of ourselves when something happens and we realize we've got all our eggs all in one basket. Now, recently I was talking to a recruitment business owner that I've known for quite some time and quite familiar with their business, and they'd had an amazing year, and then they'd gone back and done some analysis to just look, where had that growth come from. And they were a little bit shocked, to say the least, because what they realised was 70% of this fantastic year's turnover had come from one client. Now, don't get me wrong, they knew it was a major contributor, but they were really surprised to what degree. And I think quite nervous then, realising that, I've got a lot of eggs just in one basket here. And so their goal for the next financial year was to look at how do they spread that risk and how do they grow in different areas to reduce the reliance on this one major client. Now, we all love to have really good clients, don't we? But how about having 10 really good clients that perhaps generate half that level of business, or 75% of it, rather than just one creating quite so much? So how do you move away from that situation when you realise you're there, and how do you prevent yourself from getting into that eggs in one basket scenario in the first place? Well, as business owners, we're always mindful about how much time we work on our business rather than working in our business. And yes, time is always going to be a challenge. But the key questions we need to be thinking about as business owners is, where will our growth come from? Is that growth going to be about bringing in new headcount to really leverage some great niches and sectors that we're currently operating in? Is it a case of looking at some completely new sectors that you can expand into? Is it looking at some aligned sectors to the ones that you're currently operating in? Maybe at the moment you're working in a really specific geographical location and you want to expand that. It could be into other regions. You could even take your service nationally. And if you are already operating nationally, what are the opportunities to go into Europe and beyond? Now, the other element to look at is, what are your service offerings? Maybe at the moment you're really focused on contingency. You might have a temp desk. If you don't, is that an option for you in your sector? Or contracting is another area. And increasingly, I'm hearing people talk about how business owners are looking to perhaps shift their reliance from contingency by introducing a retained service to their business moving forward. So there are lots of opportunities to just look at how do we continue to expand and grow and make sure that we avoid being in a risky situation where we might kick ourselves and think one day, why did I rely on having so many eggs in one basket? So I hope this video has given you some really good ideas on how, if you are in that situation, you can get yourselves out of it and how you can avoid getting there in the first place. That's Sharon Hewitt from Superfast Recruitment. Talk to you soon.